You ever feel like sometimes that you overshare with the company that you keep? Today we're going to be talking about confidentiality.
Na base agora toma socadão. Desce com seu bucetão. Acaba no pau de ladrão.
Bem raspadinha.
Hello everybody, Sadi Bunani.
Thank you for being part of our family. My name is Kumba, the Lady of Power.
My name is Jave, aka Grandmaster Bugsy.
And together we are
The Boyd Walkers.
Yes, that's who we are. We are the Boyd Walkers.
So, first and foremost, my wife is going to start it off.
Okay, so I'm going to start it off by asking you a question. What is confidentiality?
Confidentiality.
Yeah.
Confidentiality is the art of keeping things to yourself and not oversharing.
Yeah.
Thoughts, visions, ideas. Understanding there is a time and a place to reveal information.
Yeah.
And understanding that it is not always the benefit for you to share information about oneself, others, or even one's plans.
Yeah. That's powerful because most of the time, we live in a world where we overshare. Like you don't have boundaries on this is how much I'm going to share with this person, and that's it. And also, we don't have true friends, so you don't know who's your real friend. So you overshare with everyone or anyone. So another question I'm going to ask you is that why does it matter in today's oversharing culture? What do you think confidentiality matters in this today's oversharing culture?
I believe that it matters in the sense of momentum.
Momentum.
Yeah.
Explain further.
I think it matters in the sense of staying consistent in the momentum of your inspiration. Right?
Staying consistent in the momentum of your inspiration.
Right. I think a lot of times people share their early on inspirations, meaning
your ideas.
your early on ideas.
And they don't happen. And then you wonder why. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about this in one of our lives. We had someone commenting and asking like what happens if you go through this situation where
with family members and friends.
Your family members they get mad if you don't share certain
thing.
Sometimes it's good to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Because most of the time if you share it, even if somebody doesn't wish you bad, but if you oversharing or if you share that thing, that idea that you have, most of the time it's either you're not going to complete what you started or it's not going to happen at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a time and a place to plant a seed in soil.
Right.
You cannot plant a seed all year round in soil.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the time for cultivation and harvesting and to reap the benefits of the seeds you have soiled. Yeah. Or the seeds you have sowed. Are you okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think people try to plant all season round, like all year round.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily nature, right? And in saying that, you get these ideas and goals and aspirations, it's not meant for you to always share your point of perspective for other people who can't relate, who are not there yet vibrationally, who are not on the same wavelength as you. And you may want to, you may seek for validation. And this is where you need to do the inner work and check yourself at the front door.
Okay, so what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that let's get into the video. So the first number one is what are the different areas where confidentiality matters? So the first one that I'm gonna start with is friendships and family. So I feel like it matters because firstly you don't know the person who you can share as much as you want to share with, right? You
Right.
don't know. You can have a best friend, and then only to find out that your best friend is not your real best friend, and so on and so forth. Everything that goes on in life, I feel like you cannot just overshare, right?
Right.
Even if you knew someone for like 10 years ago or 20, or since you guys were little, you can literally just not overshare. You need to watch what you say, and everything that you share needs to be at a certain point. You can't share things about your marriage with your friends or with your family. There are things that you need to keep in between you and your partner, right?
Mm.
Because we do want to protect that trust.
Mm.
Because if you share everything, your friends are going to kind of look at your partner in a certain way because they know everything about him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like it's okay to keep things to yourself. Like, I used to ask myself, like, why everybody comes to me? Who am I supposed to speak to?
Mm.
And then I receive an answer that says, you speak to God. You journal, you write things down, because that's why God gave you the gift of being able to write things down. You don't have to go cry to someone else. You can take a pen and paper, or you can kneel down and pray and talk to God, which is what I do. I don't have
Yeah.
anyone that I can go to and say, this is the person, the best friend that the family member that I share everything with. No, some of the things I keep to myself, and I write down. Some of the things I share with my husband, because he is my number one. He's my plus one. He's me. We always here together, so he's gonna know most of the things that other people are not going to know.
Mm.
Do you want to go ahead and share about marriage and partnership?
Yeah, marriage and partnership is the fine line to a covenant.
Mm.
And so inside of a covenant, there are secrets. There are um,
Mhm.
there are symbols. There are codes. There are
Okay. You just
things
reminded
that
me
you
of
just
pineapple. You
pineapple.
remember when I used to have that pain in my arm,
Uh
and you said at the shop, you
uh
said, I'm gonna say pineapple when it happens, because
huh.
it happened the other day and you didn't know, and you were talking to someone.
Oh yeah,
You remember that?
I remember.
You look like you don't remember.
But you said the other day like it was the other day, literally. So that's where I got lost.
Oh, okay. Well,
All
when we
right,
had a
when
when we
that
had a
other day of
nutrition,
that day long ago.
we were
Yeah.
long ago. We were at a
Mm,
nutrition shop, and then that happened.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
continue.
yeah, so like there's aspects of goals, visions, aspirations that we work on and have manifested, and when it came out into the public about it being manifested, it was better for them to see it when they didn't know what was happening in the dark, right?
Yeah.
And there's a sense of gratification that comes there. There's a sense of fulfillment that comes from there as well, right?
Right.
That you were able to hold on to a secret that God gave you long enough for it to manifest, for them to see the works, for them
Yeah,
to see
that's
the
nice.
works that God had bestowed upon you, for you to be the king and queen of that assignment and to
Right.
rule over that assignment
Right.
for his wishes,
I
Is it
don't know.
up?
What was it that I heard something?
It was your upper lip.
Stop.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so long story short, the confidentiality within the marriage and the covenant is most upright important when it comes to building, when it comes to vision, when it comes to goals, aspirations, and ideas.
Yeah.
Those two individuals must see it through in order for uh, it to be a thing. When two are gathered and midst, anything is possible. It is not two and a mother and an uncle and a father and a sister and a cousin. You know,
Yeah.
it mainly happens between the two first, and then it ripples effects for everybody else to reap
Mm.
the benefits.
Okay. Do you want to share the business and professional setting
Yeah,
or leadership roles?
sure.
Mm-hmm. Go
What,
ahead.
why you ain't sharing? It's a
I'm gonna share
back then.
after you. Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna share after you. All right. So look,
Go ahead.
when it comes to business, there's a level of ideas that are happening within the business that ultimately we have already seen and witnessed in our own culture in America.
Yeah.
Um, that confidentiality goes a long way. We don't need you sharing the secret sauce
Yeah.
to the other
I feel like
competitors.
I feel like in business, it's more. It's important in business, in leadership. in I keep hearing something in business, in leadership, in professional setting, like in a
Yeah.
space of professional no, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of professional, it could be still business, but I feel like it's more important, and people who are in business, they do it more because they understand that I can't share everything with everyone,
Mm.
because it's it's minds, it's minds to keep, it's minds to grow, it's minds
Cultivate.
to cultivate. Yes. it if I share it with you, you're not going to understand, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you're not going to understand the fact that the business is down, the business is failing, the business is falling, you're not going to understand all of that. But we try so hard to keep it to ourselves so that we can get clarity, because if we talk to everyone, everyone has their own opinion, and everyone is gonna tell you what they think about your situation. I feel like it's more powerful for you to figure it out. If you mess up, you messed up, you're gonna figure it, it's your fault. Nobody told you that was gonna happen, nobody told you that you should make this move. So that's why you shouldn't be oversharing things on your business. As a leader, like, you should listen to people, but you shouldn't share. And I'm not saying that even if you listen to people, you should not say anything. You should share what you have been through before, which helps another person, and how did you solve that problem. That's what happened, is not what's happening now, you know what I mean.
Mm.
You can share things that are confidentiality, you can share things that are
Confidential.
confidential, private. You can share it. You need to keep it to yourself. You need to give it, you and your partner, if you have a business partner. If you don't have a business partner, keep it to yourself. And I was listening to this lady not too long ago, I think it was last month. She was talking about how she makes all the decisions. She
Mm.
has she's a CEO of a certain business, but she makes all the decisions. She doesn't go to no one, she doesn't tell no team. If she has an idea, she's going to execute on the idea. If it falls, it fails, that's okay, she's going to move on to the next, because it's her fault. But she makes all she makes all the what was I saying?
Decisions.
She makes all the decisions. Yes, she
Yes.
makes all the decisions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she said that every ever since she started making all the decisions, she has never failed, not once.
Mm.
Because everything she says, or everything she puts out there, it's what she thinks and it's what she wants. Let's move on.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point of view.
Yes.
She's one of a kind. There's plenty of people who do that. I think
Yeah.
also too, confidentiality to that type of tea is another perspective, and you can only respect it, especially if it's working out for that individual. But I
Right.
think confidentiality is to the point where we were all put here to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be naive.
Don't be naive, but
Don't be
keep it to
gullible.
yourself.
Right. Don't be gullible in this ideal of confidentiality. You don't need to
Mm,
share with everybody. You don't need to share with your circle necessarily, especially if your circle is not reflecting what your ideas are. So
right.
this will be common sense to one self, because you already get the intuitive nudge to say that these people aren't thinking like me, but I'm gonna go share with them anyway because I'm excited about it, and I hopefully they're on the same page. It's like, no, dude,
Mm,
no, you're not supposed to do that. Now, if you're surrounded around individuals who have a small group and they're always brainstorming and always manifesting their ideas and
mm-hmm.
everything is always being created, that is the
Yeah.
type of group and setting that you should feel comfortable if the floor is given to you to share an idea that
Right.
can be cultivated. But you
Right.
just have to know the setting and when to speak on the mic, when to drop the mic,
Mm-hmm.
and when to pick it up. You
And
see
what
what
to
I'm saying?
say at what time.
Exactly. We're gonna get into point three. People
Point number
struggle
two.
with no, not
It's
point
point
number.
number two. Point number two. White people struggle with confidentiality.
Point number two.
Yes, baby. It's point number two.
Oh, I see what you're doing
Uh
there.
huh.
Okay, yeah.
So white people are struggle. Why do you think people struggle with confidentiality? I think it's
Wait, it
because
says okay, okay, go ahead,
I
do you
think
know?
it's because of gossip culture. Most of the people can't keep things in themselves because they like. Let me say we are talking about something, or we're
Short and
talking.
sweet.
Let me say we're talking about something, or we are gossiping, right? gossiping is going to lead to me oversharing, right? Because now I want to act as if I am better than the person we're talking about, right? So that's gonna make me want to share, and then I'm gonna end up oversharing, right? But it's gossip. And also people just want to talk about stuff, right? They just want to stay on the phone for hours for literally no reason. They just want to talk about stuff until you can't hold it anymore. I used to do that with my cousin. I would talk to my cousin and my sister sometimes for a long time, and then I'm gonna end up sharing the things that I didn't want to share. And I'm just like, okay, it's okay. They all the way in Africa anyways. But it still doesn't matter, because it's like I shared it with someone, so now it's not as confidence as it should be, right? It's not mine's anymore. It's like somebody else holds my idea as well. So I feel like you should protect your space, know what you're saying, and don't be sitting on the phone for 2 hours, because that leads to you talking about
oversharing,
what you're about to do, right? And because now the news are juicy, and you're like, should I tell this person? Because your mind is, should I tell? Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, girl, tell her, and then you tell her, right? So mind what you're saying and how long you're talking to people. Sometimes you can talk to people for as long as you want, as long as if the iron is sharpening iron, go ahead and talk as long as you want. But I know that if the iron is sharpening iron, the conversation is not going to be that long, because we both busy. I'm busy building my ish, you busy building your ish, go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so real quick, one of the things that you're talking about, me and my bro, Bass Monstar, as we were roommates, a lot of the times we would get very comfortable because of who we were to talk about sometimes lackful thoughts of understanding, right? So we could understand each other's situation. Like, hey, well, I can't do that right now because I only have this amount of money right now. Da, 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 da. And we realized as we became more tapped in, tuned in of creating your reality, is that even though we're comfortable with each other, we still can't tell the story that we don't want to initially tell. And so don't get too comfortable. Like, we know, but it was so hard to break out of that mindset because we were comfortable with telling the story, right? And because we also wanted to be related to about the scenario, and they may have gems for me, right? But it was like, you already know the gems right now. So this is not a moment for you to really be sharing to be understood when we've already been here. So create the reality that you want until it manifests. If you received information, this was a blessing to your life, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thank you for being a part of Lock Fam Kingdom Citizens.
Hey,
With that being said, stay locked in.
God vibes only.
One up, y'all.
Peace.
Kaboom, bing, bow, bye.
E joga, e joga.